All right, now we're going to take a look at signing up for our GitHub account. So here in the browser, I'm going to go to github.com. When I hit enter, get here, then I can sign up. And then it is going to ask me some questions. It's going to give me some instructions to go through this and sign up for my GitHub account. So then you'll go ahead and do that. You'll enter your email, give it that information, and then once you have everything, then go ahead and come back to this video and we'll continue on with the next part. I already have a couple of accounts that I have done for this, so I'm not signing up for a new one in the video, but it's a pretty simple process. If you've ever signed up for anything, you can figure it out. You'll have to check your email, verify it, things like that. But once you're done, come back to this video and we will continue with setting up a repository that we can use for GitHub pages. If you have ever used GitHub before, then you'll already have some repositories in here, and this is the screen for creating a new repository. If not, I believe this should be the first screen that you see. It wants a repository name. You can name this whatever you want, and it will work as a repository. But for what we're doing in this video, we want to be able to use this repository for GitHub pages. So there's a very specific way that we have to do this. So over here, I see my username, and the structure of this has to be your username. So write Aaron for me .github.io. It has to be that username .github.io for it to work for GitHub pages. And then you can put in a description if you want to. I'm leaving this as public. I'm not adding the README file. We'll do that later. And then create repository. And then it's telling me, there's nothing in here. This is an empty repository. And some things that I can do, I can create a new repository from the command line. So using the command prompt like we have been. Or I can push an existing repository from the command line or import code from another repository. Since we already initialized a repository on our device, we're going to do that first. We're going to use these commands here. So git remote add origin, and I can just copy this line. And you'll want to make sure that you're in the directory that you want to work with. I'm still in my web dev or web development directory. I'm going to paste that command. So what this is doing is git remote. I'm telling it that it is a remote thing that I'm doing. So I'm working with something that it's going to need to go out to the internet and find. Add origin. So I'm adding something, and then origin is going to be whatever my GitHub is. So in this case, this github.com/writeaaron/writeaaron.github.io.git. And then it's creating a branch, main. Oh, it copied way too much here. So all I need to start off with is adding this origin. So when I hit enter, it adds that. Then I can go back and I can get the next command. Copy this. And it's saying to use git branch main. That's fine. If you do this a different way, that may be master. So here, I'm going to git branch main. And then when I go back to that, I have git push u origin main. And that's going to push our files to that main branch in our directory. And for what we're going to do in these videos, we're just going to work out of that one directory. So here I'm telling it git and it push to push the files there to origin, which I have set as this github.io that I created. And then the branch that I want to use is main. So when I hit enter, it's going to do some stuff. And it's bringing up a sign in. So I need to then sign into my GitHub account. So sign in with the browser. It's giving me a browser to sign in with. So I'm going to sign into this and I'll be right back. All right, so now that I'm signed into my GitHub account, I can see this has found everything. It pushed it to this new branch that was created in that command up there. And I can check my git status and see that everything is up to date with origin main. So now it's checking if everything is up to date with what I have pushed out there. So now there's a few things we can do. If I come back to my GitHub after I did all of those things, I can refresh this. And I can see it has these files in here that I had added. I can see my commits, so the different things that I've done, what happened. Like here on this commit, I can see an index.html. I deleted all of this and I added this. And my styles.css, I added this new file so everything shows green over here. And then if I chose to, I could make a change here on GitHub itself. So to my index.html, I'm going to add another line to this another line to this comment that just says comment. I come down here, I have to put in this commit message. So adding comment, commit changes. And now when I go to this file, I can type in, or the command line, I can type in git status, and my status is up to date with origin main, nothing to commit. So if I do a git pull origin main, so I'm telling it I want it to pull down the files that are on this origin, which is this github.io that we created, and the branch main. When I hit enter, it's telling me that it pulled this down, it's updating, there's some changes. So I can do git status, my branch is up to date. So now when I go over here and I want to edit this file, it's telling me something changed, and I can see it pulled down this comment that I created there. So if I wanted that to instead say another comment, and then save it, then at this point, I can come back to my command line. I can do git status. I can see that I modified that. If I go to my GitHub, I don't see those changes in here. But because I did make these changes and I put them in to the version control, then I can put in git add. I'm just going to use asterisk so that I'm adding all of the changes that I made. Then I can commit these changes like we did before. Git commit -m, and then whatever my commit message needs to be. At this point, I'm actually going to leave out that commit message to show you why we wanted to add a text editor to the git install. So when I hit enter, it says it's waiting for your editor to close the file because it opened this file here for me. And everything that with these hashtags will be ignored in this. So I can just type in updating comment in index.html. I need to save this, close the file, and then this realizes that that got closed, so it took what I put in there as the commit message. I can check this git status again, I can see nothing to commit. Everything's been committed. So then I can git push origin main, or if you are working in other branches, if that's something you're familiar with, then you would put a different branch there. Like I said, for these, I'm just going to use main as the branch. So then it's pushing that file that way. When I refresh this page, I can see now I have another comment in this file. And if I go back to this code, I can see I now have 4 commits. I can go to that, updating comment in index.html. So I added another in front of comment. So it looks at that line as I deleted this comment and added this one, even though the only real change was adding this. And then something else that we can do, because we set this up as GitHub pages, we can use this as our base URL, this writeerrand.github.io. So if I paste that in here and I hit enter, I see this is a header. It's taking in some of those styles that I gave it. But then this can be a working directory for, these live pages. I could share this with somebody. I could create a wiki. I could create, a small web page about, some product that I have out there, depending on what it is you might need to use it for. But this is a good place that you could create kind of some basic static web pages. And you can use that username.github.io and give that as a URL to people, or whatever the path to the file is that you need them to have access to.